I'm Richard Head, I'm an IT manager, and I'm here today with my 1991 944 S2 Cabriolet, which I've now owned for 26 years. I bought the car in 1999 when I first was able to afford a sports car. At that point in time I was actually looking for a 911, but being 6'6" meant that any of the 911s I could afford I didn't actually fit in. So I looked around at the rest of the Porsche range and came across the 944 and actually sort of instantly fell in love with it. And I love the look and the shape of the car, and I always wanted a soft top, which led me to the 944 Cabriolet. And so I bought this in '99, and it's kind of just got under my skin since then. It's now a car that I'm never going to sell. I always say if there's a fire in the house and I had to pick up the keys to one car, it would be this one. It's just a joy to drive, it's a joy to own. Some of the things I particularly like about it is it is mechanical. Nowadays, if you own a car, the first thing you have to do if anything goes wrong is plug a computer in. With the 944s, you can get under the bonnet and you can look at it and you can actually work on it yourself and actually understand what you're doing mechanically, which I actually particularly enjoy doing. The car itself now has 117,000 miles on it. It had about 62 on it when I bought it, so I've done, 55,000 miles in 26 years. So I do about 2,000 miles a year in it, which is fine. It just keeps it ticking over, and every mile is a joy. You know, it's got this wonderful 3-litre 4-cylinder engine, roughly 210 brake horsepower. I actually this year took it across to Stuttgart in Germany, back, and actually had it parked outside the front of the Porsche Museum, which was fantastic to see. So I was driving 4 or 5 hours a day, doing a few hundred miles in it, and it was superbly comfortable, and you were getting out feeling perfectly fresh. From that perspective, I just love it. And the other thing I particularly like about the car is the fact it's quite unusual. You don't see many 944s on the road nowadays, and B, you very rarely see a Cabriolet. So increasingly it's becoming a bit of a unicorn car. When people see it, they go, wow, that's quite unusual, you just don't see them. And particularly in the colour, it's this lovely cobalt blue. I have had it resprayed, as I say, and I try and keep it well maintained. I'm not after a concours car, but I am after a car which actually just looks good and just is enough to sort of turn people's heads and go, oh, what's that? I haven't seen one of those before. About 10 years ago, the car was starting to look a bit tired, so I decided to invest some money into it, had it resprayed, had a new hood on it, and then decided as a winter project I would do refresh for both the brakes and suspension. And I bumped into Design 911 actually at the NEC, at the Classic Car Show. And I got talking to the guy on the stand and said, look, this is what I'm planning on doing. He said, look, you're going to need quite a few bits, so drop me an email after the show and I'll make sure we get you a decent discount. So I did that, and true to his word, he gave me a good discount on the parts I was ordering. And when the parts actually finally arrived, they'd also included the anti-squeal shims for the brake pads with a little note saying, we could see what you're trying to do. You didn't actually order these parts, but we think you're going to need them. And if you don't think you need them, that's fine, just send them back. And I just thought, from a company who just took a random order, that was just a level of customer service which was above and beyond what I would normally expect. So I think, you know, it's a really credit to the guys at Design 911 to actually sort of take the time to do that. And I've used them ever since whenever I needed new pieces, new parts, and pretty much always they've got the parts you need. So they're a great company to deal with. So if we actually talk about the car, it's pretty original. Yes, I have had it resprayed, I have had a new hood put on it. But apart from that, it is, you know, it is an original car. Obviously, you know, spare parts and consumables have been provided by Design 911, but it's just fantastic. It's that late 80s, early 90s pop-up headlights. I mean, who doesn't love pop-up headlights? And you know, it's got the lovely leather interior. It's just really comfortable to drive. I think the only thing that's not original on it now is in fact the stereo. It did have an original Blaupunkt stereo in it when I first bought it, which I changed because it failed. So I've got a slightly newer head unit in there now. However, I am actually thinking about, if I can, trying to find now you know, a backdate Blaupunkt stereo to then, you know, replace back in there, just to give it that, you know, original 90s look. I was particularly on the last London to Brighton run, I was able to actually get my then 21-year-old son insured, and it was great to be able to actually do that run with him and allow him to actually do some of the driving and enjoy, you know, a sports car for the first time instead of just a little 1.2 Hyundai, which is all he'd ever driven up to that point in time. So it was great to be able to share that experience with him and see what he thought of actually driving a Porsche for the first time. So I love it. You know, what more can I say? I'm never going to sell it.